failed because the signal is really poor in this woodland. It's not that dense a canopy, but the nearest set of like habitation is a small village. The nearest town is quite a distance away, so the signal, yeah, it's not going to be great out here, which is unfortunate. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to record some stuff. Hopefully the live that we did manage to get will have recorded some of the stuff talking about coniferous trees earlier and why this woodland's managed and how this woodland's managed. One of the things, and if that is the case, then following on from that, one of the things that is really interesting about this sort of woods, managed woodlands, often have open spaces like the one that's around us here. And these open spaces, they're great. They're great for all sorts of flora and fauna. The fact that they're open opens up the canopy, which means there's more light gets to the forest floor. There is grass growing at the moment, but by the time we get to spring, there should be a reasonably dense selection of wildflowers, probably including bluebells through here. So the woods will hopefully be carpeted with bluebells, but also other wildflowers as well. These give great grazing opportunities for a lot of the deer that are in here. And they just make it a lot more pleasant to walk through than really, really dense stands of trees. So one of the questions that was asked earlier is, do they plant trees when they log them? And as I discussed on that, yes they do, and they're really selective about how they plant the trees. They're also really selective about how they cut the trees down. It used to be the case, and it still is the case in some places, where they do what's called clear felling. And quite literally they'll start at one end of the wood and they will take everything out for a block, and then they'll go back in and plant trees in that area. That's really destructive and really disruptive to the woodlands. In woodlands like this, where there's a more conservative management approach, what they tend to do is they will pick trees out amongst the others. So they will selectively log the trees. It takes a lot more work, it's a lot more expensive to do, but it's much more protective of the woodlands that exist. And if you want to see a good example of that, and think it's the first season of Clarkson's farm, he goes and fells some trees, and that's exactly what they do. They take out something like 200 trees, and when he spins the camera around to look at the woodlands where they've felled them, you can't really see that there's that much change to the woodlands. So other than opening up the canopy a little bit, which is again great for the ecology, this sort of selective logging isn't actually that bad. It's in many ways really good for the environment, and this is probably several years on from when this area was managed. So yeah, it's really good.